Welcome to the best and hardest Alphabet Platinum Challenge you will find on YouTube, or so a homeless man told me. For those of you that don't know, we're picking a game that starts with each letter of the alphabet starting from Z, going all the way up, and platinuming / getting a 100% on each one of them. So far we have done Zombie Army 4, Ys 8, XCOM 2, Wolfenstein 2, Visage, Undertale, and The Evil Within. Have some pretty rough games to do still, including Outlast 2, Hollow Knight, Fortnite, Black Ops 3, Back 4 Blood, among a bunch of other ones. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. For our S game, I went with Sifu, and what I thought was going to be a fun challenge. I could not be more wrong. Before diving into this godforsaken game, let's quickly go over the steps to getting this 100%. Step 1. Go through the story, getting miscellaneous trophies, and get the platinum. Step 2. Go through the DLC arenas. Sounds simple enough. There's very little in terms of actual story in this game. We start off going through this compound, just smacking everyone around. We then find an old guy, puts up a piss-poor effort of a fight, and we send him to P. Diddy's house, only to find out that we are actually playing as the villain at the start of the game, and we just killed this young boy's dad. We spare him, and the rest of the game is us playing as that young boy, but kinda, sorta, fully grown, enacting his revenge. This game is very unique in that you start at the age of 20, and every time you die, this pendant that we are carrying brings us back to life, but we become older. The age you gain isn't always consistent, because if you die multiple times in a row without defeating enemies, the number of years you gain keeps going up. Yeah, it's a little confusing, so basically we want to win without dying. Since I knew the DLC would take me a little while, I decided just to put the base game on easy so I could learn the controls and save my anger for later. After clearing the prologue, playing as the villain, I unlocked my first trophy for clearing the prologue and locked me into this nightmare of a ride. Going through the game, you earn experience for defeating enemies, and can use this experience to begin unlocking skills. Unlocking the first got me a trophy. There's also these things called shrines scattered throughout the levels. They have a couple different upgrades and can pick which one you want depending on what age you are or what your score is. By choosing the highest age-based reward, I got another trophy. The game is basically broken down into 5 levels. At the end of each level you fight a boss. First level's boss is Fajar. This man turned my life into a living hell in the DLC, and I don't think he deserves the respect of being called by his real name. So from now on, we are going to call him Jafar. This man is the human embodiment of an adult wearing a diaper. But beating him on easy wasn't too bad, and doing so unlocked a trophy for killing Jafar. Started the second level, which was pretty cool as it took place inside of a nightclub. Pretty early on, I got a trophy for performing 3 takedowns within 12 seconds. Takedowns are a huge part in this game. It gives me health back, while also making me immune from taking damage, and in the DLC arenas, it also freezes time. I made it through this level with little resistance. That is until I got to the boss, Sean. This guy tossed my salad and made me say thank you for doing it. I struggled mightily against this guy, which is ironic because by the time I got to the DLCs, he became one of the easiest enemies in the entire game. But this man killed me over and over and over again. So much so that I got a trophy for reaching my oldest appearance. I could not dodge his attacks at all, and ended up looking a lot like this. Dude, I'm about to start breaking shit. And he backs up and I don't have any range to do anything. That is so obnoxious, dude. I was finally able to defeat him, which got me another trophy for defeating Sean. I was not ready for level 3 yet. I knew I had to go back through these 2 earlier chapters and practice more, and maybe get a few extra trophies while doing so. By purchasing a skill 5 times, it becomes permanently unlocked, which 1, gave me a trophy, and 2, lets me have it every time I start a level. I unlocked one skill, which was Environmental Mastery, which was basically being able to throw items at people. It's pretty funny to use, but also helps because it will stagger them. After doing this a couple times, got a trophy to pop for using my environment to my advantage. I then unlocked a somewhat useless move called Calbot? Cabot? No, not gonna lie, I don't really know how to pronounce it, but we unlocked it, and got a trophy for doing so. In terms of helping you fight, it is completely worthless, as it just increases your score multiplier. It becomes a god move in the DLC, but for right now, complete garbage. By getting used to the controls, I was becoming better at not getting hit. I got through a level with a score over 10,000, and it got me a trophy. And because I had such a high score, I was able to get the highest score-based shrine. That got me another trophy. There's a mechanic in the game where you can vault over objects to either run away or close distance with enemies. It's used pretty regularly, and eventually a trophy popped for doing this a certain number of times. I decided to get the last shrine-based trophy out of the way, which was getting the highest XP shrine. Another miscellaneous trophy I decided to do while practicing was to beat Mr. Diabeto in the club's pit before defeating any other enemy, which honestly wasn't too hard. I then hopped back to the first level, and with the aid of a baseball bat, I cleared the hangar in less than 1 minute and 20 seconds, and that got me a trophy. Side note, the baseball bat is so unbelievably broken in this game. It was a huge reason got through a lot of the DLC arenas. In baseball bat, we trust. I then went and gave Jafar the good old 1-2 piece dick down and beat him without dying, got a true trophy for beating a boss without dying. I now felt confident to continue on with the game, and I went to the 3rd level at the museum. This level wasn't too hard. I used a lot of weapons in it and got to the boss, Kuroki. This lady blows. Even fighting her on easy, but standard and master, it became even worse. Her moves felt really unfair trying to dodge. She could honestly just go kick rocks. But because I had it on easy, I beat her and got a trophy for doing so. I immediately jumped to level 4 and I breezed through this place and got to the boss, Jin Fang. This old bag can go fuck right off to a nursing home. On easy, I played 1-2 buckle my shoe with her and beat her super fast. But on standard and master, it became a lot worse. I've never gone against such an unfair boss, but we'll get to that a little later. Got to the last level at a pretty young age, and it's a pretty relatively short level. I got through it and now had to fight Yang, and still don't really know how to fight this guy, but I had a miserable time. Every mechanic you learned in the game up to this point doesn't mean dick. Learning how to throw? Can't throw them. Learned all these focus skills? Fuck you, can't use them. I kinda just spammed buttons and eventually beat him. Like, I looked like a madman on fire. Just look at this. This is brutal. This guy's absolutely fucking waxing me. Not being able to focus is bullshit. Stop doing that fucking move. Dude, this guy's a piece of shit. Tell me there's not a fucking stage 3. Well, eventually beat him and got a trophy for beating the game under age 50 and exacting my revenge by killing Yang. I then redid the level a couple of times and killed him at a younger age and got one of the hardest trophies in the game for beating him at age 25 or less. Now came the miscellaneous trophy onslaught. I got trophies for throwing an enemy into the mountains, dropping from a high point in the caves, testing out the photo mode, throwing enemies a certain number of times. I then got a collectible trophy for completing the detective board in the squats. And these detective boards were basically just finding different collectibles scattered about. I now started kind of a somewhat second playthrough. It was basically just beating a boss in a different way. Each boss you have the chance to either kill them or let them live. And by letting them live, I get a talisman, and getting all of them unlocks the true ending. I let Fuckface Jafar live and got the Woods Talisman trophy. Then I let Sean live and got the Fire Talisman trophy. Found a knife on the ground, did the special move to one-shot most enemies, which popped a trophy, and this move is also hugely helpful in the DLC. On my way to go smack Kuroki around, I threw an enemy to their death into the fountain, which popped a trophy. And I finally decided to unlock all focus attacks and use them, which popped another trophy. I let the Whorebag live, which got me the Water Talisman trophy. And while going for all of these, I was working on another trophy in the background. Probably the most annoying trophy in the base game. It is to perform every takedown in the game. There are 41 takedowns, and the game does not show a tracker for them. And many of these look very similar to the others. So you just kind of keep doing them and hope the trophy eventually pops. I got lucky, and I finally got this trophy while going through the 4th level. I found a staff and used a focus move, which was able to hit 3 enemies at once, and I got a trophy for doing so. I then made the mistake of letting Dustin Vag Lady live, and got the Metal Talisman trophy. God, I wish I just kept killing her over and over again. I then cleaned up another collectible trophy for completing the detective board for the Sanctuary on my way to saving the final boss. The final part of letting him live was a true nightmare. Yeah, sure, I had unlimited health, but this man tossed me around like a rag doll for like 20 minutes. It was horrible. Just look at what I had to deal with. Dude, that was fucking horrible. But I somehow finally beat slash saved Yang, and I got the Earth Talisman and attained Wood, which was the true ending and got me the last story trophy. It was time to finish off the collectible trophies. I got the trophies for completing the club's detective board, the tower's detective board, and the museum's detective board. I had one trophy left, and it was for getting a score over 20,000. There's an exploit where you can turn on in-game cheats to just get an insane score. So I did that and got this trophy. And right after this, the trophy popped and I finally got the platinum for Sifu. Wow, that was not bad at all. I don't know why people said this game was so hard, I thought. Well, I very, 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 very quickly found out why. The DLC for this game was one of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had. And there's no guide on YouTube or PSN that talks about this DLC. Yeah, you'll find one for the first DLC, but it's the second that's the problem. All I saw was a Reddit post saying that this DLC is a 9 or 10 out of 10. And yeah, I learned that I also agreed with that. So let's start what was the true journey of Sifu, the DLC. There are pretty much two trophies for this entire DLC, and all the other ones pop on the way to these. One of them is to collect 240 stamps in arenas, and the other one is to clear all the dragon areas. There's typically one to clear all the tiger arenas, but these are the easier of the two types, so it doesn't really count. Each arena has a max of 3 stamps that can be obtained. There are some arenas that require beating it in a certain time, some that require to beat with the best possible age, others with the best possible score. And to clear an arena, you have to get at least 1 stamp in it. So if you beat an arena by the skin of your teeth and don't get a stamp, well, buckle up because you get to do it all over again. First couple of trophies popped pretty quickly. I got one for getting 3 stamps in any arena challenge, and then I got another trophy for unlocking a new arena pack. But even in the very first arena pack, I felt what an absurd difficulty jump there was. And this was the first one. I thought it would at least start off easy and get a little harder from there. But I struggled hard. For hours and hours, I was losing my mind getting my shit rocked. Just look how mad I was getting during this. Holy Christ, bro. Them doing double damage and you can't guard is fucking outrageous. Who the fuck came up with that? Jesus fuck, bro. These juggernauts are the biggest bunches of dog shit I've seen in a fucking game. In what fucking world does this guy get to do that many fucking attacks in a row? God fucking... Dude, you pick up the goddamn fucking bat. What are we fucking doing here? God fucking damn it! I'm spamming the fucking takedown button, and because I'm not trying to guard because I'm doing a takedown, and the game's like, oh, let's look the other fucking direction. Dude, this fucking game blows. Dude, enough with the fucking fat man fucking attack, bro. I don't know how to fucking deal with these goddamn fucking people. God fucking damn it. Let's go look at fucking something on YouTube to see if something could... And I finally came to the 4th arena pack. This is where things finally started to change a little for me. One of my viewers, shout out Intel, told me about a strategy that completely changed how I played the game. Up to this point, I thought of this game more like Sekiro or the Batman Arkham games, where you learn to parry. What Intel taught me was that dodging downwards and then punching and throwing completely changes the dynamic to the game, where I actually started to feel like I had a chance at completing it. Now let me be clear, this was not an instant switch. I still died. A lot. God damn it. Oh no! Dude, I dodged it! What an asshole. Okay, not that one. What is... Okay. That's insane. Oh. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no! God damn it. Okay, well that was fun. Fair. Like, this one sucks. They just move so slow. Dude, Faz is... But I kept practicing in this arena pack, learning how to be a kung fu master by not actually attacking people, but dodging and throwing them off the roof. Upon learning this, I got a trophy for clearing a challenge on the heliport by throwing everyone off the roof. I was beginning to feel more comfortable on these challenges where I had to not die or to get a high score because of this method. But there was still a problem. There were timed missions as well. And during my journey through this DLC, I never once felt even somewhat confident with these. I was just kind of playing them and praying that I would be lucky enough to get a semi-okay time. And this is because I had to wait for the enemies to attack me. And sometimes they would just kind of stand there with their dick in their hand. Because this method is very defensive and not very offensive. Slowly but surely, I continued on my journey and got another trophy for clearing 25 different arena challenges. Next came the first trophy for getting gold stamps, which was getting a certain score or time that's even better than the 3 stamps. And this trophy, I honestly got blessed by the wording of it. The trophy was to get gold stamps on a timed or performance arena. I was struggling to get even 1 stamp on a timed level. The fuck am I going to do to get gold stamps? But it was the second part of that trophy, the performance part. The performance one was to just get a high score, and I could do that in my sleep. So I locked in on a performance arena, got gold stamps, and got this trophy. Over the course of the next couple days, I continued on going through this nightmare. Some arenas would legit take me an hour plus to beat with 1 stamp. So things were progressing very, very slowly. I eventually got the trophy for clearing 45 arena challenges, however. This was 4 days after starting these. Things were not going great. There's some random miscellaneous trophies throughout the second DLC. I got one of these for finishing off a schmuck lord with a snowball in one level. I then got another trophy for, I think, throwing people into this car a few times. Or maybe it was throwing them into one specific part of the car. I don't know. The description literally just states, oh, my car. So, like, yeah. I then decided to get another gold stamp trophy. This one was for doing it on a survival arena. And fuck this one. I had to do this whole arena with getting hit 6 or less times for the entire challenge. This was not easy. I then quickly went to another miscellaneous trophy which simply stated Kal Pungo. So again, okay. I threw some guy into this giant ball and a trophy popped. So I guess that's all I had to do. And I finished off that night with getting a gold stamp on a manhunt arena, which is killing certain enemies in a certain time limit. Like, you could just see how mad I was getting doing this. Dude, god damn it, man. Dude, I was waiting for your dumb fucking ass to get there for like 45 fucking minutes. You fat gelatinous fuck. Dude, fucking attack. God damn it, man. You're just fucking standing there. But when I'm actually fucking trying shit, they just run away.
Stop him, for fuck's sake!
Why? I'm gonna lose my goddamn fucking mind. They just fucking stand there for like 20 fucking seconds, and then they're like, oh, we're all just gonna attack at once so you can't fucking dodge and throw it off. Jesus, I'm so fucking sick of the RNG bullshit of this fucking game. Dude, stop! I'm gonna come in this game and skull fuck you if I get hit fucking twice one more goddamn fucking time. Jesus fucking Christ. Every time I have a chance, these fucking losers do this bullshit, man. Dude, god fucking damn it, man! Dude, you were standing there for 20 fucking seconds. 20 seconds, you didn't do fucking anything. The second this other fucking asshole decides to attack is when you do it. Jesus Christ. Eventually I got it and got the trophy. Yeah, I was doing okay on getting some of the trophies, but to be honest, I still wasn't sure if I would be able to complete this game. All this time and struggling, and this was all on the easier arenas. The Dragon arenas started throwing in more boss fights and arenas on master difficulty. Things were only going to get more difficult from here. And then the day came that changed everything. I decided to do a 24-hour stream. I decided to start the stream with Sifu before I got too tired and worn out. I ended up playing 14 hours straight of this game. I was getting better at the strategy and flying through a lot of these arenas, some of them on my first try. I kept going and going and eventually popped a trophy that a few days ago I thought was going to be impossible to get. That trophy was to collect 240 stamps in arenas. I couldn't believe it. I was so close to finishing this game. I then decided to go finally finish the Tiger arenas by getting at least one stamp on all of them. Coming back to these after doing almost all the Dragon arenas was a piece of cake, and I finally got this trophy for clearing all Tiger arenas. I decided to get a nice quick trophy, which was for throwing a disciple into the lake on the Bellowing Mountains. During the stream, I had gone through every arena page except the very last one. And even then, I still wasn't confident about finishing this game. There are 5 arenas on this page, like all the other ones. And during the stream, I got through a couple of them. There was even one of them that consisted of 25 waves of enemies, with every 5th wave being a boss fight. I stopped playing this game for the 24-hour stream having 2 arenas left. That was what was standing between being happy and free and done with this game. And still, even then, I was still concerned about whether I could do it. I know. Many of you are thinking, if you only have 2 arenas left, how in the world could you be so worried? Well, these 2 arenas are by far the hardest in the game. Whichever dev came up with them had someone shitting his Cheerios in the morning and got hit with a scooter in the shin prior to coming up with these. Both of these were boss rushes. One consisted of 3 waves. The first wave was fighting the Blade Bitch and the Old Hag. At the same time, you have one lady with an obnoxious as all fuck blade moveset, where she just never stops attacking and can go across the entire arena with one move. And then the Dirt Bitch, whose entire moveset is just long-range, drawn-out attacks. So no matter what you do, you just keep getting hit. The second wave is fighting Yang one-on-one, and the last wave is fighting Jafar and Sean. Also at the same time. Oh, did I mention you get 1 life? That's it. You die, restart. Oh, and they don't even replenish your health between fights. So you have to go through all of that with 1 health bar. And the other arena is somehow even harder. You have to fight all 5 bosses, one-on-one, in the same order as the base game. Okay, well, one-on-one seems a lot more fair, right? Oh, right. Forgot to mention that all of them are on master difficulty. And this is one of the most unfair bullshit difficulties I've ever played in my life. Not only do they get new moves, and spoiler alert, all their new moves are fucking leg sweeps, but they come out so fast that it's nearly impossible to react to. So yeah, I had these 2 bullshit arenas to get through. So I got to work. I spent the next couple of days practicing against these bosses and looking up strategies on what to do. And I did not find much in terms of helpful strategies. I eventually got lucky on the multiple boss per wave arena and got through the first one with a decent amount of health and got to Yang. I ended up just spamming block and praying, and I somehow got through the stage as well. But I had almost no health left and still had 2 bosses left. Sean is a speedy boy, and Jafar, despite attacking super fast, would just kind of walk menacingly towards me from across the arena. I was able to knock Jafar down and run to the other side of the arena, where Sean would quickly catch up. I felt the most confident smacking Sean around, so I would be able to dodge and get some combos in on him, while Jafar made his way back over to me, where I would knock him down and run again. I can continue to do this with my heart racing. Finally, Sean got killed and Jafar was left with little health. A few combos later and I actually beat the arena. There was now one single arena standing between me and the light, and yet I was still not confident that I could beat it. I had to beat every boss on Master difficulty. The strategy I used for the entire DLC leading up to this point no longer worked. Dodging down worked on everything up to this point. But like I said, Master difficulty, toothless hookers outside of an Arby's, all they get is the ability to do leg sweeps. The one single move dodging down didn't protect me from was, and you guessed it, leg sweeps. I had a couple somewhat respectable attempts early on in my runs. Jafar was a nightmare. This man was fast and threw leg sweeps like nobody's business. I could kinda get through him, but I consistently would pile up multiple deaths. Sean was pretty much the same because I struggled with his leg sweeps. Kuroki, honestly one of the most poorly designed fights I've ever seen in my life. And then the old bitch. And oh my god, she sucks so much. Her moveset is a steaming pile of weak old horseshit. Her sweep move was such bullshit, and the worst part of it, if you got hit by a single move in her combo, it was pretty much an insta-death, because you couldn't dodge out of the rest of the combo. No matter how many times I got to her, I just kept dying. I eventually began figuring out strategies. For Jafar, I found out I could bait one particular move where he would jump off the wall and try to kick me, and this was very easily dodgeable. I was able to consistently get through his first phase untouched. Second phase, however, was a little more difficult. But by waiting for one particular move, I was able to dodge and attack, usually being able to get through his fight with one or two deaths. Sean was still annoying, but I managed to learn his sweep pattern a little bit, where I could kind of get through with one or two deaths. Little Miss Blade Bitch actually became the easiest of all of them. Albeit one of the most annoying, but easy. For her first phase, I ran around the area like an actual fool, just trying to bait out one of her attacks. I finally found one attack I could consistently dodge and punish, so I would run around through countless long, drawn-out combos, waiting for one single move so I could play the game again. This phase took forever. The second phase was more stressful, but a lot faster. I either did a delayed punch when she was running at me, or dodged down when she was throwing her little star blades at me. And I was able to get through her whole fight with basically all my health intacts and no deaths. Then came the bane of my existence. With no strategy, I just went for it. Anytime I had my focus bar, I would use it to get in cheap damage. But I died against this old bag so many times. Just look at how many deaths I have. Dude, why can't I fucking dodge these goddamn things, bro? I'm still blocking, man. Dude, what fucking move is that? Dude, I'm so fucking sick of this game. It's so fucking bad. This is a cunt-ass boss fight, dude. Get that fucking grin off your face, you dumb whore. Dude, every fucking time I come in this goddamn arena, this dumb bullshit happens with this fucking lady. Dude, the fucking focus bar blows cock. Man. But I finally had my best run against her, which honestly wasn't saying much. I only had a few deaths left going into the hardest fight. Yang. Could I do it? Well, I found out some different strategies against him that I looked at through multiple different videos, and I just combined all of them together. For both phases, I was able to bait out one move that was easily dodgeable and exploitable, and I could get in a few punches. I'll show you guys what this fight ended up looking like. It's honestly kind of absurd that you can't use this to kill yourself. One second, sorry, but I finally did it. I was finally able to beat Yang, and this trophy popped. With Yang falling, I finally got the trophy to pop for clearing all the dragon arenas. I did it. I couldn't, and honestly still can't believe I got through that hellhole. I had a couple cleanup trophies left, but the hardest part was done. I got two quick trophies. One was for clearing an arena with custom mode enabled, and another for attempting to clear a normal level with the random modifiers on. That was it. I had one trophy left. It was to get gold stamps on a capture level, which of course is a timed level. So I got to attempting it. After a few tries, I finally got lucky and things went my way. I finally got gold stamps, and the last trophy of this garbage finally popped. The full 100% for this torture fest finally came to a close. And if anyone is stuck on these DLC trophies or is interested in starting them, and they don't really know where to start with learning how to go about it, I'm going to have a DLC guide out for this game, and I'll link it at the end of the video, so you guys can watch that and figure out how to get through this. But finally on to the rankings for this game. For difficulty, I do agree with what I saw online. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. The game is very hard, and to be honest, there's not a lot of help out there. Learning the strategy I used made this game a little more fair, and definitely dropped the difficulty a touch. For grind, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Platinum can be done very, very quickly with not too much issue. The DLC arenas do take a lot more time, but each level has its own modifiers that make it feel like a new experience and challenge, and not like you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. But it is a lot. And I mean a lot of difficult arenas, and it can sometimes feel like you're not even making progress in it, but it's still doable. And that brings us to a true ranking of 7.5 out of 10. On to the BS meter. For those who don't know, this is either a 0 or 1 and gets added to the true score. If there is a mechanic that is outside of normal gameplay required to complete it, I give it a 1. And we just add that on to the final score. And to be honest, I struggled a lot with this score. On one hand, this game is horribly designed, and the fact that parrying isn't really an option is kind of bullshit. On the other hand, once you learn the dodge down trick, it becomes more bearable. But also, the master difficulty bosses feel so unbelievably unfair. It feels more like you got a 50-50 guess right than you actually learned the fight, and that is some bullshit. But there's also ways to exploit their moves, which I show in the guide, so you should go check it out. So I'm going to go with, and great hesitation with this, but I'm going to give it a BS score of 0. That gives a final true ranking of 7.5 out of 10. For recommendation, I'm giving this game a 1 out of 10. The story is so basic, there's not a lot of cutscenes, and I honestly didn't really enjoy the combat all that much. I felt more frustration and anger than I did a sense of accomplishment. Thank you everyone who tuned in to see me lose my mind in this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you can follow along with the rest of the challenge and continue to see me quickly lose my sanity. We stream every game for this challenge over at Twitch, and we'll leave a link in the description below. Lastly, we have a Discord, which will also have a link in the description, have roles for completing certain games, as well as a channel to request help with trophies where I will either hop in the game to help you, drop items or weapons so you don't need my help, or at the very least give tips and tricks on how I went about getting the trophy. I will see you guys in the next video where I head off to Raccoon Police Department, where I take on Resident Evil 2. Mom, where's the off button to this?